So we're going to pick up right where we left off with the cash flow quadrant. As we were looking at it, and like I said, we're going to fill up this page with a lot of this left side versus right side stuff. And I think what you're going to see is that your mindset is very important to what we do in our day-to-day life. And if that mindset is negative, if that mindset is you're a worker and you're not a creator, if your mindset is, I'm just going to go out and work from that left side of mentality, it's going to be hard to get on the right side. Because what we see with a lot of this left side versus right side is the word scarcity is a real part of this. There's just a lack of out there. There's not enough. I had a mentor say to me one time, left side versus right side. The left side is scarcity. The right side is all about abundance. And I'm originally from Nebraska. And when I got educated years ago, I was in Omaha, Nebraska, and I was sitting in, instead of watching it on a computer, watching videos, doing it in more of a way that you are probably consuming this content, I went to a live training. Obviously, at the path here, we have all kinds of live training if that's something you want to do. But I went to this live training in Omaha, Nebraska, and there were 90 people in that room. And I tapped my brother on the shoulder who was sitting there with me, and I said to him, if everybody in this room does property, there's not going to be enough deals to go around. And when you really look at that, that's kind of an interesting way to look at it, because that's that left side of mentality. There's just not enough. It's scarcity. And here's what my mentor said to me. He said, there's plenty out there, but sometimes we get lost in the forest amongst the trees. Because if you get yourself in an airplane and you get 30,000 feet above the ground, go over a populated area on a clear day, put your thumb on the window, however many properties that thumb covers from 30,000 feet, that's really all the properties you'll need to create your own financial freedom. You don't need 1,000 properties, 100 properties to create financial freedom. You just need enough passive income coming in every month to replace your income. If you make $3,000 a month at your job, and we can show you how to buy enough properties to get $3,000 a month coming in after all your expenses, are you a gabillionaire? No. But are you financially free from that job? The answer is yes. This is why retirement's going to look a lot different when we are in a place where we're getting passive income coming in every month. So scarcity versus abundance. It's so important that we see that. We want to make sure that you guys are seeing that as we go through here. There's plenty out there. We just have to look at it in a different way. Scarcity versus abundance. Probably my favorite one is this next one, is the skeptical mentality. I learned a long time ago you can be skeptical or you can be successful. But I'm pretty confident you're never going to be both. And why is that? Because skeptical people spend their time, effort, and energy trying to figure out how it won't work, whereas successful people try to figure out how it will work. So you can be skeptical or you can be successful, but you're probably not going to be both. One of the biggest issues we have is a sheer volume of people. 95% of the U.S. population lives on the left side. 5% live on the right side. If we go to other countries that aren't as fortunate as we are, even more higher percentages live on that left side. And some of them aren't even workers. They're just in survival mode. And so when we look at this, how do we come to this conclusion that 95% are on the left, 5% are on the right? Statistically, if we look at it, what we find is that at the age of 65, which is traditional retirement age for Americans, to the typical retirement age at the age of 65, literally 95% of the people are either still working or they're dependent upon the government, so Social Security, things like that, Medicare, Medicaid, or they're dependent upon their family and friends for their day-to-day lifestyles. Think about that. At the age of 65, do you think most people, when they were 16, 18, 20, 25 years old, they plan on still working at the age of 65? And not because they want to, but because they have to. So less than 5% of the people are the ones that are actually creating the jobs. They're the ones out there creating businesses, and they're the ones at the age of 65 that have financial freedom. So when we look at these things, we look at it in a very, very specific way. I know that we've only gotten through a few of these things when it comes to the cash flow quadrant, but these things are such a foundational piece that I want to make sure that we're seeing them. I've got a few more that I want to share with you on this cash flow quadrant, and you're going to see this left side versus right side with a lot of stuff that we already talked about. Look forward to seeing you guys on the path.